Boogaloo dudes, carry the dudes, all the young dudes. I'm talking to all the young dudes and dudesses out there. Is that what they call a dude? The female version of a dude, a dudess. My name is Paul K. Lemire. This is Your City, Your Voice. Coming to you live from downtown Niagara Falls, Ontario, Canada, in the studios of 4680Q. And my compadres just left here. No BS, nothing but sports. With Patrick Porter in it, and the Buzzard was in talking Major League Baseball, giving his predictions. And as my buddy Chopper says, whatever the Buzzard says about who's going to win, bet the opposite, and you're going to win a lot of money. What do I know? What don't I know? If it isn't the Habs, I don't know anything. I don't follow any other stuff. Although next week I'm going to be on here at 10:30 in the morning on Nothing But Sports, talking on a special. So top secret stuff. I can't talk anymore about it. That's it. I'll be in here, though, at 10:30 in the morning. So anyway, everybody, let's get into Straight Talk Thursday. Lots going on after the City Council meeting on Tuesday. We're going to talk about that. You know I can't resist. I've got to talk about it. That's the way it is. And as I was walking into the studio today, look at this beautiful weather. What a beautiful day again. 80 degrees out there. Just gorgeous. We are getting into the nice swing of summer here. Great day to be at a beach, by the pool, wherever you want to go. Watch out for those beaches that are closed due to an abundance of E. coli. That's going to give you eye, ear, nose, throat, and everything else infection. You don't want to get any of that. You don't want to get sick, and it's going to give you the cockerellas too. So be careful when you're out there. But what a beautiful day today. And I hope this weather just continues on until October. That's what I'd like to see. And then after that, I don't care because it's hockey season and I like to watch hockey. So I'm in the house. I don't care about being outside so much in the winter. It's hockey season. Okay, before we get into the show, and we are going to talk about City Council, we have a viewer's comment that we're going to talk about. We have City Council notes talking about what happened at City Council, and it was a slobber knocker. I can't wait to talk about that. We're going to talk a little bit about everything here today as we move into finally Friday tomorrow and get rid of this week and start a new week on Manic Monday. Okay, so my sponsors first off, the Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop, Pete's Pizza on Victoria Avenue. You love pizza. I know I do. Hamel Machine Company since 1948 and Niagara Parks Commission. The custodians of the most beautiful part of Niagara Falls, down the parks, right by the falls themselves, 1 mile from here. I'm telling you, your kids are getting antsy. I know they're getting itchy right now. They're getting itchy. Come on, Dad, let's go somewhere. Let's do something. I'm bored. That's how I was when I was a kid. I always had to have something to do. And in our day, I mean, we had tons of kids around playing ball hockey and that. But today, the kids want to go somewhere. And you know what? That means using your car. And you know what that means? You don't want your car breaking down. So what you do, you take it to Ken Hunter at Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop and say, Ken, make my car perfect. I do not want to break down. I'm being proactive. Ken's going to throw your car on his diagnostic equipment. He's going to tell you any error codes that are going to pop up. He's going to be like 007, inspecting everything, making sure it's all running right and fixing the problems before they become a much bigger problem to you on the road. And if you get in a wreck, he's got a full body shop. He's going to take your car in wreck, send it out like James Bond's Aston Martin, brand new, looking new out of the showroom. You can't believe it. I mean, it's going to be fantastic. Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop, Oakwood Drive, next to the Kia dealership. Can't miss it. Go to wildbillsauto.ca. Check out all the services he provides. Believe me, he's going to have your car running tip-top, safe for your family, get you on the road and keep you on the road for the summer. You can't beat it. Be proactive. And while you're in there looking at wildbillsauto.ca, don't forget to subscribe. That's right. I know that only about 40% of the people who actually watch the video subscribe. It costs nothing. And what it does is it gives you a notification if the video pops up, and I pop one up almost every day at 3 in the afternoon. It'll tell you when it's on. You can watch it. You can comment on it. You can do everything, and it helps the algorithm, and it helps get the show out there. I mean, we're rolling quickly to 2026, where there's another election in the city. And we want everybody involved so that this can be a fantastic election and everybody shows up to vote and we get the government that we deserve in Niagara Falls. Not some whatever it is now. So let's go to viewer comments real quick here. I have one viewer comment, Penny Brookify. So strange. Oh, so strange. Yeah, it was strange. So, strange ass bribed with free booze, an all-male community group. Women do not qualify for the Hoser membership, and she's talking about the Fallsview Hose Brigade, to attend council for the purpose of preventing a woman's advocacy group from getting seats in public chambers, as well as to clap for him, even though he knows clapping violates council's decorum rules. Oh, and assures that Mayor Jim will be cool with it. What a classy gent. And that about sums up what happened on Tuesday. We're going to talk more about it in a minute. But at the end of the day, it was all for naught. Because Councilor Coco, with surgical-like precision and impeccable timing, destroyed the message. And the delegates of Women in Ontario Say No did the rest, making King James the Weird, Strange, and the Penguin look like foolish buffoons, and the woman will get to have their say perhaps as early as next meeting. All's well that ends well. I hope the people in the galley clap when the women in Ontario say no. Give their delegation. That would seem fitting to me. Personally, I can't believe people clapped after Strange's speech. I mean, they're applauding a person who's charged with assaulting a woman. I mean, what? Do people not find this odd? Is it something to applaud? I really don't understand the people who are backing all this. I know they're friends with them and buddies at the hall and everything else, but at the end of the day, they're going to look really foolish if the charges go through. He gets found guilty. And I'll repeat what I said on Tuesday. I think that this is already over. Him to get up there and talk about it, people clapping him, they all know what's going on, I guess. And I don't know what happened. I don't know. We're going to find out when he goes to the courts, but I just got a feeling that somehow this is going to be swept aside, brushed aside, not guilty. And yeah, I don't know about that, though. We'll see. But Penny Brookify, thank you for the comment. Appreciate all comments. That's great. I love to have comments. Comment on this video. What do you think? Strange getting off or not? I think he is. City Council notes. Okay, let's get into City Council now. I really don't have a lot to say about the City Council meeting itself. I think it went down as I expected. There was not a lot on the agenda, and the councilors were out of there by about 7:45. I said it was going to be a short meeting. It should be, if the time wasters don't go crazy. And they did waste a lot of time, but they didn't go really crazy. I think they could have been out of there by 7 if they were smart, but a lot of it had to center around what Mike Strange did as well. And then, of course, crazy stuff. Like the bubble zone. We'll talk about that. But I guess after 7:45, Mike Strange had to take his supporters to Boston Pizza for free drinks on him, as he promised when he bribed his friends to come out and support him after he gave his speech. By the way, which was a disaster. And I don't know. This guy's had 3 DUIs and stuff like that. Is it taking his buddies out for drinks? Is that, I don't know. Is that a good thing or not? What do you think? Maybe out for Tim Hortons coffee or something or whatever. I think there's a problem here somewhere. But anyway, that's what he said he was going to do. And, I was going to go over to Boston Pizza and check it out, see if everybody was in there drinking it up on Mike's tab. I don't drink anymore, so I wouldn't have a drink. But I really was just I wanted to go over there and look, but heck with it. Who cares? Who cares? The hosers. I know. I think it looks bad on the hosers in there clapping and everything and supporting him in this. I mean, come on, he's a member there, I guess, and they must know the girl that he is charged with assaulting. So you think they'd have a little bit of, I don't know, especially if any woman in the crowd that were there clapping. I don't get it. I don't get it, but yeah, what do I know? What the hell? Oh, so yeah, Mike Strange, he got up. His henchmen, the mayor and the Penguin, did their best to let him speak because what he was going to talk about, his case, had nothing to do with what was that the item that was on the agenda, which was Bill C9, I think Bill 9 or Bill C9, and had to do with municipal councils or governments in general, I guess, and criminal charges and that. So if he wanted to speak to Bill 9, that's one thing, but to get up and make his plea to the crowd had nothing to do with it. And when he tried to do that, he got about one sentence out. Then Counselor Lori Lococo, with impeccable timing and flair, stood up and shut him down. And that's what should have happened. Great move by Counselor Lococo. And she made the case, hey, you wouldn't let these women speak because this is a legal matter. That's an ongoing legal matter. So they couldn't delegate. They couldn't talk to council about with their backing about criminals and criminal charges when it comes to city councilors in this case. You wouldn't let them speak. And your excuse, because Bill Mattson got up and said it, and so did the Penguin, about this ongoing legal matter and blah, 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 this gaslighting baloney these guys give everybody. Does anybody believe anything these guys say anymore? How do you know if they're lying? They're talking. Their lips are moving. These guys, I mean, come on. That's baloney. And then Mike Strange can get up and talk about the same subject and nobody says a word. Oh, it's okay. It's okay. And it was well known is in the pointer that he was going to do this. And then the Jim Daddy, we don't know what he's going to say. We don't know what he's going to say. King James the Weird. We don't know what he's going to say. And the Penguin, Penguin, please give me a break. Everybody knew what he was doing. It was plastered everywhere. I had it on my show on Tuesday. I talked about it. And they let him go. Oh, we haven't heard what he's going to say yet. We don't know what he's going to say till he says it. Well, guess what? That never flew. And finally, King James had to relent and say, you can talk about C9 or Bill 9 or whatever, but you can't talk about your case. And he did anyway. He got up and said, I'm innocent and it's all going to come out. The truth is going to come out. And it's a case of someone being vindictive and blah, blah, blah. Listen. There's no attorney in the world who would say it's okay for Mike to get up there, talk about this case on record. No attorney would tell him that. They would tell him, shut the hell up about it till we get to court. If I was a prosecuting attorney, I'd be going, oh, this is great. Look at this guy. He gave his girlfriend a couple of slaps. She had needed medical attention. He's standing up here blaming it on the victim. And then he's not even remorseful about it. I mean, that's why I think there's something going on, because nobody in their right mind would let this guy up there. If his lawyer let him up there, he just went up there on his own, like a stunad, then he gets everything he deserves. I mean, this is crazy, but I just got a feeling, call it intuition. It just doesn't make sense that he would do that. But regardless, Lori Lococo shut him down right away. no fooling around, no baloney, shut down. And she interrupted his speech, his little speech, surgically. He never got his point across. And when he finished, they clapped and cheered. Women in the crowd, I don't know. Yeah, and they said, no clapping, no clapping. But, he told everybody, me and Jim knows what's going on. So don't worry about it. Clap, clap, clap. It's against our decorum. That's what Jimmy and them lean on. City Hall decorum. You can't have signs. It's decorum. It's not law. That's not, decorum isn't law. Procedure isn't law. People have a right to hold signs. And the only thing that would prevent that right from them to hold a sign that says women in Ontario say no is if it was a racial slur. It broke another part of the Constitution. Charter of Rights and Freedoms in Canada, if you will. So they can hold signs. Nobody can throw them out. The cops can't trespass them. That's why they never got charged. It's all a bunch of baloney, strong arm tactics, and that nonsense. But at the end of the day, they were there again. They never had signs because they wanted to. And Ms. McIntosh, there's, Mike Strange says, you can come back at another meeting. We're going to get our staff to investigate this. And then you can come back at another meeting and present your case and talk to this thing. And she stood up and said, I'm ready to talk about it right now. Give me my 5 minutes. No, we're not ready for that. Seriously, people, this was a joke. It was a joke. And I just say to these guys, listen, Penguin, Mayor Jim, you guys are leaders. You're supposed to be leaders, but you're not cheerleaders. You're going to be a cheerleader, wear a skirt. Couple pom-poms. What's the matter with you? Remember that. You're not cheerleaders, you're leaders. What's right is right. You can't have different rules for everybody. Make up your mind. At the end of the day, the group was promised they'll get to speak at the meeting in the future, which is what they wanted all along, giving them their 5 minutes. And you know what? If these arrogant, strong-armed buffoons were to let them speak a few meetings ago when they wanted to, none of this would have happened. None of this would have happened. They dropped their arrogance and everything else. None of this would have happened. Just let them have their 5 minutes. Let them do their delegation. Let them have their say, and they're gone. But no. This is the dysfunctional city council we have. Just ridiculous. I know nobody's going to remember it in 2026 when the election comes around. It'll be long gone. Nobody will remember it. But that's why we got the same city councilors we've had for years and years and years and years. And the only way to cure it, it appears, is term limits. It's the only thing that we can cure it with. But there you go. That's what happened. And it was a beautiful thing. It was a beautiful thing. And congratulations, Lori Lococo. It was perfect. Yeah, it was perfect. It was perfect. And Mike's plan didn't work because the ladies got in that were supposed to be in there sitting in the front row and doing their thing. And Jim got mad. You guys got to settle down or don't make me do something I don't want to do. Don't make me do something I don't want to do. You can't do it anyway, Mayor Jim. Something you don't want to do. Other interesting topics that were discussed included the owner-operated short-term rental situation. After much discussion, they're going to be allowed. And it was good to see my buddy Peter Colosimo in there. This guy knows what he's talking about. When Peter talks, I listen. Oh, yeah, he knows what he's talking about. He didn't want them approved for a variety of reasons. He laid all his reasons out. But the majority ruled, and they're going to be allowed owner-operated short-term rentals in your neighborhood, come into your neighborhood. And I have to congratulate Councillor Lococo, Councillor Dabrowski, and Councillor Patel for listening to all sides of the matter, to all arguments, and voting against it in neighborhoods across Niagara Falls. And it's a rarity at most council meetings when you see somebody joining Lori Lococo in her opposition to anything. And I have to think that maybe there's hope. I mean, I think most of the people in the city do not want these gypsy-like renters ruining their beautiful neighborhoods. These guys listened. So congratulations. And I don't give congratulations out easy to, especially Councillor Patel. But in this case, good job. Councillor Dabrowski, good job. And Councillor Coco, good job as usual. So I think maybe something's turning around here. Are we going to get some opposition, or are they just saying vote with her so that, we'll don't worry about it. The majority's going to vote for it. I mean, Councillor Carrier made the most sense. He discussed it. He weighed it back and forth, and he voted for it. He did. So, but at least he weighed both sides. He wasn't just going with the flow here or anything, right? There was a couple guys who got up in favor of it. Oh yeah, we need it, and blah 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 blah. And they had good points too. So it's just a matter of what you think. I think if you live in a neighborhood and there's these things running around already, and they're not working out that great, and there's so many illegal ones in the city, that you just have to say no. No, we don't want these. And that's what happened with Dabrowski, Patel, and Lococo. And Peter Colosimo, who I value his opinion. So either way, they're coming to your neighborhood. The majority voted for it. So that would have been Cario, Newesteg, Strange, Baldinelli, and Peter Angelo that voted for it. And the mayor voted for it as well, if you want to keep track. Okay, I got to get to my second sponsor, Pete's Pizza on Victoria Avenue. And, there's nothing, when I get riled up at a city council meeting, there's nothing better than having a nice piece of Pete's Pizza sitting beside you on a table by the couch there. Because it calms you down. Good pizza calms you down. It does for me anyway. These guys are clowns. Give me a piece of pizza. And I'll choose Pete's Pizza because, number one, they're consistent. They use the Mancini family recipe for their pizza, for the sauce and the crust. It's fantastic. Then they take a blend of beautiful Saputo mozzarella with brick cheese, and they put it on the pizza in the right ratios to the sauce. So important. With fresh toppings, you can't beat it. My favorite's the Canadian with pepperoni, bacon crumble, and mushrooms. You can't beat it. And they make it consistent. It's always good. Hey, and they have chicken wings, the best wings I've had in a long time around here. They're very, very good. Steak and cheese poutine. Panzerotti. What else they have? Steak sandwiches. They got everything. Whatever you want, they got a menu that's 3 pages long. You can't beat it. Consistent. 905-374-2222. That's how you get one of these tremendous pizzas. You can also go to Pete'sPizzaVictoria.ca, to their website to order. They use Dine and Skip and Dash and everything else. It's pretty simple to get a pizza from there, and you're going to be happy. You're going to like it, and you're going to want to go back for another one ASAP because they're consistently good. Pete's Pizza on Victoria Avenue. Support our sponsors. They support the show, and I appreciate it. They appreciate it. And it helps the show. And we want to support our local industry, our local business owners. Okay, another funny thing happened on the way to the forum. The bubble motion. I'm a Barbie girl in a Barbie world. Where Councillor Lococo, once again, gave everyone a lesson in the Charter of Rights and Freedoms, and I love it. Which was a beautiful thing. And Councillor only 8, Councillor Ruth Von Newesteg, who ran for Conservatives, but like socialist programs. All of a sudden, she's a socialist. Free bus rides, putting bubble zones around public buildings and places of worship so people can't protest. And it was pointed out by Lori Lococo, Councillor Lococo, that is against people's rights and freedom of expression and everything guaranteed to them in the Charter of Rights and Freedoms. Listen, if you want to go stand in front of St. Pat's Church, with "I don't like the Pope" sign, guess what? Nobody can stop you. Nobody can arrest you. It's a public sidewalk. You step onto their steps, now you got a problem. You can be trespassed. But you stay on the sidewalk in front of it. Hey, whether they like the message or not. Now, if you say you want to off somebody, or you want to don't allow some racing or some kind of a racial slur or hate speech, that's against the law. That is they can come. They can't trespass you, but they'll charge you with hate speech or causing a disturbance or whatever. If you're standing there with a sign, it's not offensive. You're allowed to do that. How? What does it take to make people understand we have rights and freedoms in Canada? They're so used to being pushed around and forced to vaccinate and everything else. They don't know that. But yeah, bubble zones around city-owned buildings. She said, but she pulled that one back. So I'll take city-owned buildings off of that. No, take everything off of that because you can't have that. There's no bubble zones. City-owned buildings are where taxpayers have the right to be because they own them. You want to go sit in City Hall all day, go ahead. It's your building. You don't cause a disturbance. You're not in people's way. You're not interfering with business. Sit there all day. They can ask you what you're doing. You don't have to tell them. I'm here observing. I'm doing a story on City Hall. Right? Journalism, freedom of the press, constitutional protected right. Yeah. But you know what? You can't do this. They can't do this. They can't do this. That's all there is to it. Can't trespass you. Can't do any of that. So no bubble zones. Forget about the bubble zones. That's the craziest thing I ever saw. Bubble zones. I laughed at that one. Now the women from women in Ontario say no. They were all there, like I said, but they were quiet. They were quiet. They had a couple of outbursts, and Jimmy had to give them the rule. Decorum. But other than that, it was pretty good. And that was about it for the council meeting. That was about it for a council meeting, really. Yeah, and I noticed a weird display of solidarity. And this has happened before. This happened actually on the Tuesday night the meeting was, after the charges were laid against Councillor Strange. And it's solidarity. Mayor had to leave his chair for a second. Who'd he put in it? Take a guess. That wasn't by accident. That was a message being sent to everybody. There's 8 councillors there. He could have put anybody in that chair, but he didn't. And there's a reason for it. I think these guys don't plan this stuff. Don't think a lot of this stuff at city council meetings isn't rehearsed. Whenever anybody gets up to speak on something of that, sometimes, and especially if they had their reading off a script, I wonder who writes it. A lot of it's rehearsed. These secret meetings they have are rehearsed. What they're going to say when they get out there, how they're going to deal with something. And if you think they aren't, I think you're pretty foolish. Now remember, in these secret meetings, everybody's held to an oath of secrecy. So nobody, we need a whistleblower. We need a whistleblower giving us the inside scoop. But I mean, if they get caught, then there's integrity commissioner and everything else. So they're not going to do it. But we really do need a whistleblower because I'm telling you, I guarantee it. I hear the scripts that these guys read, and you just know they're written for them. You know that they're written for them. Everybody gets a chance on the old boys club to say something. Sometimes, no, they're not, because the people can actually write them themselves. But the ones who always talk, and then all of a sudden they're going to read a big, long diatribe, I can almost guarantee they're scripted. Okay, let's get off of city council. That's about it. There's other stuff in there. Nothing that was really major. They zipped through it pretty quick, to be honest with you, and that was expected. It wasn't a real big agenda this time. So let's go to Chippewa. Hello, Chippewa. We love our people in Chippewa. They're the greatest people in the world. And whenever anybody tells me about sovereignty and being the 51st state, I go, listen, even if Canada does become the 51st state, you think we're not going to be called Canadians? Go to Chippewa and you and you tell somebody from Chippewa they're from Niagara Falls. Even though Niagara Falls amalgamated with them, took them over, they ask them where they're from. You don't lose your identity. They don't lose their identity or their sovereignty. Chippewa's a special place. It's the gem. It's the gem. But they're getting a shiny new arena with tons of amenities built in, and I'm so happy for them. This came up about maybe a year ago or something. I was talking about this, and at the time, they were throwing around whether they should spend the money on a new arena or try to get this one, keep this one running for another 10 years or whatever. And I said, you know what? It's an old piece of crap. Not enough dressing rooms. It's just not a great place. Let's build a new one. So I think they're doing something like a hybrid here. It seems to me they're going to take the old building and they're going to refurbish it. And the province has kicked in $10 million for it. That's good. I don't know what it's going to cost, the total cost of it. I know John Ringo B, my buddy, messaged me and said the total cost is $40 million for a new one. But I don't know if it would be that much to refurbish the old one. In other words, they're going to keep the old one, make it like new, add 7 more dressing rooms in it, and they're going to add the library, put an addition on for the library they lost in Chippewa. They lost the library because the building was decrepit. It was in, and they had to get out. But they're going to refurbish it, I think. So I don't know if it's going to cost the total $40 million that John Ringo Beam was talking about. But it may cost $20 million or something. I don't know. We haven't got a final price because they really haven't said what they're going to do, and it hasn't really come back to City Council yet for approval. This is what they want to do, and they have the $10 million from the province, so that's good. But I think it's long overdue. It's time for a new one there. I mean, Chippewa's growing like crazy. There's a lot of people who have moved into the area. They're building homes like crazy. You go out Sodom Road and all in that area. It's growing. Chippewa's growing, and they need new things, especially the infrastructure. They're redoing Willoughby Drive and that kind of thing. So I'm glad to see that they're getting a new arena. And I think it's cool that if they can repurpose the old one, in other words, make it good, make it work with all new, other than the actual structure around it, and they add to it, that'd be a good thing. I think at first they were talking about building one right next door, building a brand new one right next door, and then tearing the old one down. I didn't get the impression from the article, and it's probably by Ray Spiteri, that they were going to do that. So we'll see what happens. It's got to come to council for approval, and we'll see. We'll see what happens with it. I think council will approve it. But I know right now, I mean, everybody's really, really aware of spending and that kind of thing. Legacy projects like this one for kids to get them into sports, keep them off the street. That's good stuff. The problem I have is with nature trails like the NST Trail, 17 million, and the Exchange for 17 million. They're the ones I have trouble with. The sports ones are no problem. Kids get into sports. There's lots of kids that play sports. They go on to bigger and better things, and they're armed right here in Niagara Falls, and in this case, Chippewa. So congratulations to them. Let's see what happens. It's going to come to City Council. We'll see what that council has to say about it. Over to the Niagara region. They're ready to hand down a huge budget because they're short 110 million. And they need 110 million more than they have in this budget to address the backlog of aging facilities, housing, roads, and bridges. Asset Management Director Pius Maposa said they have identified $177 million in needs just to maintain service levels. But they only have $67 million available. So they're $110 million short. And he said the region has an overall deficit of $1.5 billion that is needed to address its assets. So to address all the assets that they need to fix and keep going, and some of them are major, and 1.5 billion is a drop in the bucket because they have a $400 billion wastewater treatment plant they have to build to take in all the new development in the south end, southwest end, and the new hospital. So 1.5 billion is, that's not including the big projects that have to be done. So they're broke. The region's broke. That's what it means. It means the region is totally broke. They don't even have the money to maintain their assets now. Never mind improve on them or fix other assets. Sad situation in the region. The notion is that to cover the shortfall in 1 year, there would be a 16 to 18% increase in taxes. And that's probably not even, that's just for 1 year, 18% to maintain. If they want to fix everything, your tax would have to be 16 to 8% for the next 40 years. Not mine. I won't be here 40 years, but your kids and grandkids. And Bob Gale stood up and said it's a meeting of doom and gloom. That if the region were a private business, the board would be looking for someone to buy the region tomorrow. They'd be selling. He said, we have to be doing something right here, but it looks like everything we're doing is wrong. And I agree because Bob wants a 3.5% cap on an increase in taxes for the region. And I'll tell you one thing, Bob. I like what you're saying, but when we look at the numbers that are coming out of other people there, it's going to be a lot more than 3.5%. That doesn't even pass the scratch and sniff test with these guys. To be honest, there's no good news for many of the region departments, with all facing shortfalls of money just to maintain their departments. What do they blame it on? You know what? Come on. You tell me. But in case you don't know, you have no clue. Oh, I don't know. Well, they blame it on climate change, Trump, of course, Trump, tariffs, right? Labor shortages, legislation. Oh, excuse me. Oh, the pollinator meadow across the street's getting to me. Legislative provincial requirements. So, provincial requirements, they're always coming up with new rules. Everything except mismanagement. Nobody ever mentions mismanagement. Could it be that you guys just can't manage money? I know if I went bankrupt and I couldn't pay, and the city takes my house and everything else, and I said, "Oh, I'm sorry. It was climate change. It was those damn tariffs. It was labor shortages. It was legislative requirements." And they're going to be saying, sorry, it's mismanagement. You don't know how to save money. You don't know how to spend money. Shouldn't be any different with our region, but that's what they blame it on. The region's a mess. Was a mess a decade ago. It's really been a mess since January 1st, 1970, when it was instituted. And it was the cure-all to end all. A better way forward for Niagara. Working as one entity rather than a bunch of smaller ones on their own. We're going to gang together. Kumbaya. And that's what's needed to cure the financial black hole that was created in 1970. They created this financial black hole and it's been sucking in money ever since. And you know what? It can't escape. Black holes, things get sucked into the huge gravitational pull. They can't escape. Not even light can escape a black hole. I mean, the end of the region of Niagara and a better way forward. It has to happen. I mean, we're broke. So, man, you watch for their budget when it comes out. It's going to be a humdinger, and the police are already starting with a 13% increase or something like that. I mean, they want 200. What are they at? 213 million. They want to get up to 235 million or so. Oh, that's ridiculous. Never going to end. It's never going to end. We got to get rid of this region. That's it. But I'm going over to something happy. I want to talk about my third sponsor, Hamel Machine Company. And these guys know how to run a business. Believe me. Maybe they should go talk to the guys at the region. Since 1948, Hamel Machine Company is providing service to Niagara Falls industry. And when industry moves to a city, that's the first thing they look for. They want to know that if they have a breakdown, there's somebody there that can fix their machines and get them back in business. Toot sweet. Time is money today. A lot of stuff is just in time ordering. Orders have to go out, parts have to come in, and they come from all over the world now. It's not just North America. They're coming in from Taiwan, China, Germany, South Africa, everywhere. And you can't wait for these parts. They need it fixed immediately to get them back in business. So what do? They call up Hamel. Bob goes over there. Bob Denner, great guy, goes over there, takes a look at what they've got, sends some of his guys over there, and at the end of the day, they fix what needs fixing. There's my buddy Gary Wilkins right there. They need fixing, and they get it fixed right away. But these guys just don't fix things. They make them better. They improve upon them. Time is money. If it can help production, they will find a way. And they do it for the wine industry in the Niagara region. They do it for the cities. They do it for the region. They do it for big industry like Rich's Products and smaller industries like the agricultural hydroponic products. And they send their products all over the world when they invent them. They're innovators. Hamel Machine Company, that's where you go. And don't forget, they love when you walk in the door too. If you got a problem, something's not working right, it needs to be fixed, it needs to be welded, it needs to be redone. They have 3D printers, water jet cutters. They can help you with anything around the house that you need a machine shop for. It's Hamel Machine Company. That's where you go. Tell them Paul from Your City, Your Voice sent you. And support our sponsors because they support the show. They support the city. They're good corporate citizens. And we need them around. They've been around since 1948. We need to keep them in town. Support them. We're all our sponsors. They're good people. Oh, well, Niagara Falls City Hall closed, at least until October, as major renovations are underway, and City Hall is closing her down to the public July 21st. All departments will still be accessible, but by appointment only. So if you want to get in to see a department for some reason, you have to make an appointment, and then they gotta, I guess, give you a hard hat and safety glasses. I don't know. Council meetings will be held at the Exchange at Sylvia Place. Hey, they're using it for something. And phone lines will be open if anybody needs information. A partial reopen is scheduled for September 15th. So they're doing a big remake there. Now, if you remember a few years ago, they just spent, I don't know how many million to do the outside. They redid the whole outside of the City Hall. I don't know why. It was a beautiful brick building, and now they redid the whole face of it, and I don't know what the heck they were doing, but they did it. There was no cost for the renovation that was stated. I'd let you know. I didn't see anything about it in the budget for 2025. Maybe I missed it, or it was under some other heading, but it didn't say City Hall renovations. But if I find out what they're spending on it, I'll definitely let you know. You know that. Doge. We deserve to know. We want to know they're spending our money. I'll look into that for you. I'll look into that. Stay tuned. So the Epstein files, let's go to that because this is a big, big deal right now. And this could be the biggest bunch of crap from the Trump administration, and it could be their biggest scandal ever for sure. I mean, Epstein killed himself, allegedly committed suicide after he was arrested. And he killed himself because he was arrested for trafficking children and being like a pimp for children, giving young girls for his buddies and stuff, young girls and boys, I guess. And Ghislaine Maxwell, is in prison for 20 years for trafficking kids. To who? All of a sudden, the Trump administration, Pam Bondi and Cash, they'll say there's nobody. There's nobody on the list. So they can't arrest anybody. There's no list to release. There's nobody. I mean, come on. This whole thing stinks. And there was a kind of like a press conference. They were together. Trump, Marco Rubio, Pam Bondi, and some other people there. And they were asked by one of the reporters that was in the gallery about it. And Trump, and listen, I'm a big Trump fan. You know that. You know I'm a big Trump fan. I tell everybody that. And I'm one of his biggest supporters. But man, this stinks, Trump. This stinks. And I know everybody's going to say, you're waking up. No, I'm not waking up. This stinks. A lot of the stuff he does is good. But this stinks. And for them to say there's nothing going on, when Pam Bondi said, I have the whole file right on my desk. Yep, I have the whole file sitting on my desk. We're releasing everything. This was the whole one of the things of his campaign. Releasing JFK, releasing MLK, releasing the Epstein files. And now they're saying there's nothing in it. There's nothing on it. A lot of Trump supporters are baffled. And it isn't sitting well with any of us. As you know, several months ago it was promised that they'd be released, the Epstein tapes, the list of those frequenting the Lolita Express in Epstein Island, all the underage girls would be released. And all of a sudden, Pam Bondi says there's no list. Come on. Nobody believes that. Nobody believes that. So now our question is, why the cover-up? It's a cover-up. And Trump's right in the middle of it. The guy who said he's going to be transparent. And he has been to this point. But this is a cover-up. Why? That's my question, why? And I can only surmise. I can only surmise that there's something so damaging in those files. What it is, I don't know. We didn't see the list. But there is something so damaging, not to Trump himself, I don't think. I don't think it's Trump himself, and I'll tell you why. Because if it was Trump on that list doing nasty deeds, then the Democrats would have already been all over it. I mean, Biden had access to all this stuff. He never released it. If there was something damaging to Trump, they would have released it for sure. They might not have released it all, but they would talk about Trump being on it and that kind of thing and go after him for it. I mean, they're not above using anything. Think about it. Russia, Ukraine, 2 impeachments, 4 indictments, arrest, conviction, silencing him during his campaign with a gag order, and finally trying to kill him twice. You think they wouldn't use any of the Epstein evidence against them if they had the chance? Of course they would. That's why I don't think he has anything to do with it. So who does? Who does? Well, it's a proven fact that Epstein was an agent of the CIA and Mossad, recruited by his girlfriend, Ghislaine Maxwell, whose father was a Mossad agent. It appears his whole operation was to blackmail big-name politicians and other people with videotapes of their perversions and the names on that list, along with the tapes, some of the very, very most powerful people in the world. I mean, we're to the point now where they're talking national security. And I just don't think that they know how to handle it. What do we do with this grenade that we're holding? What do we do with it? And Trump has stepped in it. He stepped in it this time. And I think the only way out is to stand up and tell everybody the truth. Even if he doesn't release all the names, he has to say something. Something has to be done with this, said about this. Because even the staunchest supporters are in on this now. Because Elon Musk is running his mouth saying that Bannon is on it, Steve Bannon's on it, Trump's on the list. And believe me, when Elon Musk says this stuff, he's not saying they were involved in any of the hanky panky. He's saying they are on the list, which makes you believe that he has seen the list. So he's just saying they are on the list. There's thousands of people who are on the list. Not all of them were involved in hanky panky. Right? So he's telling the truth, but the soundbite he's using makes it sound a lot worse than it is. And what really makes me wonder what's going on is that the Democrats aren't all over this. Schumer, Pelosi, Clinton, Obama, Hakeem Jeffries, all these big mouths, Maxine Waters, AOC, all these big mouths who all they do is talk about Trump, wanting to impeach him and arrest him all the time. Al Green. Where are they? Not a peep about this. Why? Why aren't they all over this? There's a lot of questions that I'm asking right now, and I'm not letting Trump off the hook on this one. He's got to figure this out, how he's going to deal with this and come clean, because there's something big going on. Bondi handled it bad, I'll say that, and she might take the fall for this. Who knows? But at the end of the day, the commander-in-chief, Donald J. Trump, is responsible, because he's the one who said in his campaign he's going to release all the files once and for all. And now he's got to deliver. He's got to deliver. Kash Patel, Bondi, the whole group, they have to deliver, with Trump being at the center of it. They work for him. No passing the buck for Trump. And what he did in that news conference, that little thing, was deflect. He asked how you could be talking about that when Texas is flooded and people are getting killed and everything going on. But no, that's called a deflection. Donald Trump, what the Democrats did to you all the time, did to everybody all the time. That's called a deflection. That's not an answer. You better start giving answers, because we're waiting for it. And that's the bottom line. Get over to my fourth sponsor before we end the show today. And that is the beautiful, beautiful Niagara Parks and Niagara Parks Commission, the custodians of 32 miles of some of the most beautiful parkland in the world. From Niagara-on-the-Lake to Fort Erie, centered by the seventh natural wonder of the world, Niagara Falls. How can you beat it? I mean, it's something down there. And they do their job well. The Niagara Parks Commission isn't just those beautiful parks and the goats that Bob Gale brought in. No, it's the attractions they have, like the zip line and the power station where you can go right and look at the brink of the falls, the scenic tunnels, the great restaurants, the Refectory, Table Rock House, the Whirlpool Golf Course. They have a brand new restaurant in there, one of the most beautiful public golf courses in the world. Not to mention ziplining and the other monkey bars and everything at Thompson Point, the Glen, the Great Gorge Trip, Spanish Aero Car. Seriously, folks, if you're from out of town and listening, if you're from Niagara Falls and listening, you got to get down to the Niagara Parks and enjoy what they have to offer. Us locals take it for granted. We don't go down there and enjoy it enough. And there's also attraction passes as well. You can get a pass to go to the attractions for one low price. You don't have to go place by place. You can get an attractions pass and you can go to all these great, great venues that they have here. Believe me, you come here for a weekend, you won't be able to do everything there is to do down the Niagara Parks. That's how beautiful it is. But they have the beautiful buses, the WeGo you can take and one price. They have the parking pass. I think it's for anybody who lives in Ontario. You can go in there and park. $50 for the season. You park. You park at all the events. I think maybe it's for the year, and you can park for the beautiful festival of lights and all the fireworks. Every day in the summer, there's fireworks. Niagara Parks Commission, they've been doing it right for well over 100 years. They know how to take care of our parks. It's the most beautiful part of Niagara Falls. It seriously, seriously is. You got to get to town. Niagara Parks Commission, go to niagaraparks.com to see everything they have to offer and look for those passes and those specials. You can't beat it. I'm telling you, we take it for granted and we're guilty. We should get down there more and enjoy it ourselves, all the people from town. Support our sponsors. They support the show, and they all have great products to offer the public. I mean, support our local people, the small businesses. We love to support our small business. Tell them Paul from Your City, Your Voice sent you. I'll be happy. They'll be happy. And don't forget to subscribe to this channel so you know what's going on. Okay, where were we? Okay. And then speaking of Einstein, we were on Epstein. Oh, man, it's hot in here. It's hot in here. I'm losing my mind. You see the tape of the prison that he was held in. Have you seen this thing? And it's a joke. First of all, the camera isn't on the cell block where he was, so you don't get to see what was going on in front of his cell. But there was a camera that monitored the door that comes in and out of the cell block. You have to go in and out of that one door. And of course, people who work there, they lift up the phone and call, and they open the door for him in and out. There's a mysterious person going in and out at one point, and then all of a sudden, there's 1 minute that's missing, which would be plenty of time for somebody to sneak in, go, do what they got to do, and get out. Yeah, 1 minute is missing. Out of nowhere, all of a sudden, 1 minute is missing. And this is like Watergate. And, they're trying to pass it off as a glitch or something, but up in the one corner, you can see that there's a little menu for editing. So whoever had this tape edited it before it was released. And the person who had it, of course, was Pam Bondi, Kash Patel, probably, the Justice Department. And they edited that 1 minute out. Why? What is in that 1 minute they edited out? And I'm going to tell you one thing. Anybody who's a professional and can edit videotape, right? They don't leave a menu up there, hidden kind of in the corner. You see the bottom of it. They don't do that. They're professionals. They don't do that stuff. They would get rid of that so nobody knew it was edited. And then they would just pass it off. Oh, there's a glitch. When it flopped from 11:58 to midnight, they lost that 1 minute there, right? The camera just flopped over to the next day. It's a quirk in the system. They can pass it off, but you can't pass it off when the menu's there. You can tell somebody who's in there editing it. No professional will leave that. It sticks out like a sore thumb. But what if whoever was editing it wanted the sleuths would get a hold of this, and they're going to watch the video, all 11 hours of it or whatever it is. They're going to watch it minute by minute, see anything weird, who went out and who went out. And they noticed this. What if they left it there on purpose because they wanted somebody to talk about it? They wanted somebody to see it. They wanted somebody to mention it and go through it. I mean, I don't think there's anybody in this world, is there, that believes Epstein committed suicide at this point? Seriously, is there? I mean, a guy who stayed in that cell said, no, it's impossible. There's nowhere to hang himself from. So he put a belt or something around his neck and hung from the door handle? I mean, highly unlikely. Not without anybody hearing him struggling and stuff like that. I mean, the desk was like this, and his cell was right there. And that's according to the camera that was running on the main door going in and out. Yeah, we have Pam Bondi, Kash Patel, and even Dan Bongino. And Bongino, his whole reputation is on the line here. They're telling us he committed suicide. There's no evidence that he did. And I don't understand why a guy like Bongino would put his name on the line like that. I mean, maybe he did, and they looked for clues that he didn't, and they couldn't find them, and they're telling the truth. But I don't know. It's hard to believe. It's hard to believe he killed himself. My next question, of course, is he really dead? Did they just haul some body out of there? And it wasn't him? In that minute, did they scoot him out of there? Throw in another body? Get him out of there? Say it was him that was killed? I don't know. I don't know. He could still be alive. He had a lot of big connections. It could have been staged. We don't know. Think about that one. Now, Elon Musk keeps tweeting that he was on who was on the list. I mean, he mentioned Trump and Bannon on the list. I don't know. This is deep. This is really, really deep. This runs deep, and we don't have any answers. Take it for what it is. I don't know. I keep thinking about this, trying to figure it out, trying to use common sense. But right now, I think this Trump administration has a lot of explaining to do to everybody. They preach transparency in that. This isn't transparency. This isn't transparency. This is collusion to hide the facts. That's what it looks like to me right now. Anyway, take a look at it. Watch what I'm talking about. Watch the video. You see what you think. Comment. Leave comments. Because I'm getting out of here today and getting ready for tomorrow, finally Friday. And I'll be back here at noon, sharp. Promises made, promises kept. My name is Paul Calamir, and this is Your City, Your Voice. 4680Q Radio. Daily. Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday at noon. I'll see you tomorrow and finally Friday. God bless you all. Don't forget to support our sponsors, Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop, Pete's Pizza on Victoria Avenue, Hamel Machine Company, and the Niagara Parks Commission. Have a great day, everyone. Enjoy the weather. Talk to you tomorrow at noon. So much going on, so little time. See you later.